Hello YouTube, and welcome back to W140 Restorations, a show about everything big body Benz and these amazing Mercedes sedans. So I've had a question on my mind. What's better than owning one W140? It's owning two. Welcome to Project Iona. Bought near Fort Myers in Florida, Project Iona is a 1997 W140 S500. Let's go ahead and do a quick walk around and show you a little bit about this car, and join me on a road trip to go pick her up. She's a 1997 W140 with a 5-liter V8, making her an S500. Right now, she's got about 222,000 miles on her, and the soft doors close on the front, driver and passenger. There's an issue with the rear, but the rear trunk soft close does work, and we'll go through that here in a second. One of the reasons I bought her was because she has an extensive maintenance history. I've looked at a few and passed on even more because there was no service history on these cars. She does have clean body lines. I'll go through those here in a few minutes. And she does have matching tires. She sits on matching Michelins. I have a clean Carfax on her. There's no issues with the suspension or the ride. She starts, she stops, and she drives and goes through all the gears with no issues. She is black over black, sitting on these 16-inch factory rims. But she does have some issues. Relatively good paint, except for the front bumper, as you can see here. And we'll go back around and show you the rear bumper. There's some divots on it. Looks like she may have been backed into something a few times. One of the unique features of the W140 are the soft closed doors, and I'll show you those here. When you open them and then close them, you'll notice that they pull tight to the body. I'll show you that again. Out, and you'll see the driver's side door close. The difference between the 1996 and the 1997, the 1996 did not have a light indicator for when you use the infrared remotes to lock it or unlock it. So one of the issues that I found on Iona is the rear soft closed doors do not work. You can see how it sits proud and does not shut and pull close. Let's try that again. So yeah, that's something that needs to be sorted on this car. The wheels, a lot of salt and road grime for living in New Jersey for 3 solid years, and then up and down the interstate for another 20. Coming back and forth to Florida, there's a lot of road grime and salt, so these need to be polished up. I'll do a full video on how to bring these back to life. They also have external wheel weights. I'm personally not a fan. I like internal wheel weights so the whole rim looks factory as it would coming from Germany. A difference between the 96 and the 97 are the taillights. The clear over red over clear was a body mod and change from 1997 on. Before that, for the US market, would have been amber, red, and then clear. Some issues on the paint. As you can see, Iona has been backed into something, and someone may have tried to repair this in the past. I'm not really a paint and body guy, but I'll have to do a full project on taking the rear bumper off as well as the front bumper off, cleaning these up, polishing the chrome, and getting things back up to spec. They look pretty rough right now. In addition to that, the rear trim needs to be pulled. I need to polish the lights, make sure all the bulbs are in working condition. Behind here is a foam pad that runs the full length of the lights. In the center section, need to make sure those are cleaned out so there's no rust. I mentioned the soft closed doors. The trunk, when you hit the trunk button, the chrome handle pops out for you to grab and lifts up, and when you close these, this chrome handle will go back in. I'll show you that really quick. This works on this project car. You see the chrome pull in, and the whole trunk pulls down, keeping it tight to the body. Since I've owned this car, I have not gone through any part of it, so some choice pieces to look through here in the trunk. I don't know if this is a Mercedes car cover or not. I doubt it, but it might be. Some other junk back here, some screen covers. There's a seat cover I took out of the car. We'll go through the interior here in a bit. The interior is pretty rough. This is a nice find. This original Mercedes W140 trunk pan. I have not seen one of these before. That's nice to have. Pull that out. Take a look at the carpet. Not too terribly bad. I see someone has been here before. Taking the plastic nub off that holds the factory mesh. Yeah, so I think somebody may have been in here before. Let's see, just got the CD changer. Oh, yep. So the factory Mercedes Benz CD changer would have gone to a Becker 1692 head unit. Missing the CD changer portion. Would have been a 6-change CD player from Mercedes, and missing the cartridge case. Oh yeah. So the insert, someone has been in here before. Let's pull the cover out and see if she has her toolkit. Oh, that let me show you this. For any roadside emergencies, this would have been clipped up in here to hold this up when you're trying to pull the tire out. Let's see if she has her original toolkit. Oh, look at that. She does. That is absolutely amazing. A lot of these you find, they've been taken apart and missing. She's missing the handle for the screwdriver set with the Phillips in it. This one's the flathead and some of the metric wrenches that would have come with her. Let's see. Battery case and cover, if there's any gems hiding in there. There's not. Pull the cover up and take a look at the battery. Die Hard gold, not a factory Mercedes. Oh, that's setting proud. That's not good. That needs to be lowered down. Again, I have an extra bolt. That's interesting. I've not done any work on this car, so I need to go through piece by piece and look at it and see what's missing, what needs to be worked on. Immediately you need to change all the fluids, but I've mentioned that she is a bit of a smoker. I believe that the original driver and the second owner was a heavy smoker, so not being a smoker myself and putting a tank and a half of gas through her, you can tell, and it really does burn your eyes. So the original jack's in here, and the lug nut wrench, these are positive things. So let's see, this is a Michelin X screen, and I don't know if this matches the ones that are on the car. It doesn't matter. I don't plan on putting this on. Let's see. Oh, I can't get it to spin. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. Let's see the shape of the spare wheel, if it's in good condition or not. So it looks like it's been on the car because it is dirty. I have to investigate that and polish it up when I do the other 4 matching wheels as well. Oh, yeah, here's the culprit. So not pulling the taillights and cleaning out from here, you do get grime trapped behind here, and that needs to be addressed. Oh, that's not good. A little bit of rust too, so we'll have to pull this and clean all this out and attend to the rust. Not a fan. I don't know anybody that is a fan of rust, so I need to work on that. Oh yeah, the rain channels as well. These need to be all cleaned out and to make sure that nothing's hanging out in there. I mentioned it's got clean body lines. You'll see that as the trunk goes down. One way to tell is to run your finger and see if there's any changes and any pinch points, or if it sets differently. You can look here that pretty straight body lines. Something else to look for when you're looking at buying one of these, and something of concern for me in this one, is how clean the gas filler area is. Has it been cleaned? Is the drain tube clogged? Are there any rust issues around this area? I see a lot of high miles in this car, so a lot of dings around this area, so this will have to be taken apart, polished, and put back on. Then maybe a little bit of touch up. Again, and nobody likes rust. I mentioned that Iona is setting on a match set of Michelin's. One thing to tell is looking at the same size tires, and the other is down here on the date code. It says 0816. I've looked at all four. Date code 0816 means they were made in the 8th week of 2016, so these tires are coming up on 6 years old at this point in time. Nitrogen filled. They were bought at Costco. I do have the receipts for the tires. And I mentioned having to pull the rear bumper. This is not correct. This should be setting behind the rear bumper. Again, when I pull this off to work on the paint for the rear bumper, we'll get that fixed. Below the passenger side rear footwell is where the Bosch fuel pump and fuel filter set. I'm going to have to go through those immediately and go through the fuel system. When I open the hood, I will show you that some of the fuel lines are rather old. Again, the rear tire has the external wheel weights. Not a fan. Back to the clean body lines and being straight and not being pinched, and the door doesn't sit proud. But on this one, I'll show you that also the soft closed door functions do not work on the rear. In fact, you may be able to hear it. It's making a little bit of a hissing noise as it's trying to close, but just not actuating. Close that. Yeah, then onto the front. Straight body lines, and on this one, the soft closed doors function. On the passenger side, you will find the same light up illuminator, green or red. Actually, these are clear, green or clear for when the car is locked or unlocked with the infrared remotes, and the soft close features do work. Moving on around, the defrost side view mirrors work, which is very nice. The folding mirrors work as well, and all the functions. The electronics in this car work, which is a miracle, and also greatly appreciated. Went through all that when I was looking to buy her. Again, as we look through here, where the door meets the front fender, parallel lines, so no issues. Again, clean Carfax, so there's no accidents noted. Same thing with the hood. There is a bump on the front grille. I don't know that I can take this apart and bang that back out, but there is where she's been pushed in somewhere along the line. I need to pull it out and paint it no matter what. Would have been factory gray all the way around. I mentioned the rear bumper a second ago. Same thing with the front. She has been nudged up against something and needs to be either repainted. In this case, probably repainted. I don't think that I can buff that out. The passenger side and driver's side wiper mirrors work on the headlights, and 1997 was the first year for xenon headlights for the low beams. I believe this one does have xenons. I really, to be honest with you, haven't gotten too far into this car. I checked the oil and put some gas in her to make sure she was running, but that's about the extent of what I've done to her. I did also notice here that I'm gonna have to replace the seal that goes all the way around the glass sunroof. A little bit of bubbling here on the paint, but this is a recess here, and this has to go. It's been on the car for 20 plus years. It is a leak point for getting water into the interior, so I need to make sure that that is taken care of in a future video. The glass is relatively easy to take out. You do need a longer throw 8mm box and wrench to get to them. The ones back here, further back towards the passenger seats of the Mercedes. And there's a common problem with the W140 about here inside between the headliner and the top of the car. There is a sticky piece of reinforced, what appears to be insulation, and over time, after the car heating up and cooling down, through the summer and winter, that will eventually fall. When it does, it generally takes out the interior piece of the sunroof, and I'll show you that this one has been replaced. I need to pull it out, try to find some of the parts and get this fixed. On my 1996, I had to take the sunroof out and scrape all that out of there because it again killed the inside of the sunroof as well. So let's go ahead and hop in and take a look at the inside of Project Iona. So the walnut finish and the leather on the rear door cards, pretty good. In the back of the car, a few plastic pieces that need to be replaced. The speaker grill covers, very common is the B pillar and the leather pulling away from the B pillar. I found that both on the driver's side and the passenger side. Like most W140s, the back seat looks like no one has ever sat in it. A little bit of valleying, increasing here in the leather that needs to be worked on. Also, these need to be brought up to speed. Looking inside, everything seems to be in working condition. Just needs a fantastic clean out, a little bit of vacuuming and steaming. I mentioned she was a smoker. I have to get an ozone machine and completely ozone the inside of this car because it's hard to stay any long amount of time in her. One thing she does have going for her though is she does have the Bose speaker system and the Bose audio system, so very happy to see that when I first got her. And have to replace the medical kit. My 1996 actually had the original one in it unopened, so I know you can find the replacement ones for BMWs. I'll have to see if I can get a replacement one from Mercedes. Headliner, really good condition in the back. She was a smoker. I'm going to show you some spots in the front for which there are some cigarette burns, unfortunately, and some plastic pieces that also need to be updated or repaired. Not so much in the back seat, but definitely in the front. And we'll go around to the front seat and show you all that. So the 1997 was the first year to have the side airbags. So she does have the SRS airbag system on both driver side and passenger side front. It also has this little warning that comes with it regarding putting children in the front seat. I noticed off the bat that this is mismatched. The controls for the front seats and seat memories does not match in any way the wood trim, so this has been replaced. I'll also show you on the rear of the car that somebody has been in here. I don't know why. I don't know if they had to change the window regulators or not, but this is pulled out. This particular car does not have the rear reclining seats. There would have been another seat outline to raise or lower both the headrest as well as the seats reclining. So that's missing, but they are matched, which is nice. This might be a trick to find. I'm not a woodworker, so that'll be an interesting piece to try to get that replaced and to match it as well. The seats. The seats are rough. I'm not gonna lie. I need to go ahead and get this cleaned up, buy an ozone machine and clean out all the smells. You can also see from the console is pretty chipped. Looks like somebody may have been in there before because it's raised up, but that's gonna have to take a little bit of work. She has the CD player in the back. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the Becker 1692 that would have come with her. She has a replacement Alpine, which is fine, works great, Bluetooth and everything. But eventually I'll get to the point where I replace that and put a Bluetooth mod on it. So she did not come with a factory phone. So we have the open well next to the two cup holders. Again, pretty dirty. Haven't done anything to the interior of this car. Really did nothing to it except for put gas in it. But I'm gonna have to go through and detail very, very rigorously all the parts of the inside of this car. And for the driver's side, again, the SRS airbag, standard in 1997. Door cards are okay. Need to get some new speaker grills for this. But the big thing right now is I'm gonna have to find a new driver's side seat. I don't think I can repair this. To be honest with you, it looks like it has been repaired before, so this has to go. And also heated seats. I don't think I can repair that with the amount of stretching and just damage to the seats, to be honest with you. I might be able to repair the backs, but I'm just not for certain at this point in time. The dual stage seat belts, both the quick release retractors and the regular retractors work, so that's nice, but I'm gonna have to get in and work on the seat belts to make sure this thing is safe. Again, a fair bit of cleaning that I'm gonna have to do and get the smell out with the ozone machine, and then do a heavy detail beyond that and get everything just out of here to make sure it's spick and span. So the steering wheel, I have not taken off the leather cover. I know there's one on it. Not a fan, and I don't know if it's protecting the steering wheel or if it's because of leather damage. I see some of the stitching coming up here, and some pretty deep cracking, so looks like I'm gonna have to do some restoration on the steering wheel as well, as it is pulling away, as well as cleaning up the airbag. Appears to be some dirt and grime in that. I made mention to the center console being pulled up. All the electronics do work. The summer and winter switch works. The side mirrors and folding mirrors work, as well as the heated front seats and traction control, the trunk operation button, the headrest fold down, locking, and the hazard buttons. All those things work. Very happy electronics work. Few things that need immediate attention. First and foremost is the broken rear view mirror. The dimming, the auto dimming does work. However, the housing is cracked on the outside as well as the mechanics on the inside, so flops around a bit. Rather annoying when you're going down the road. The cover needs to be replaced as well. I mentioned when doing the look on the outside that the headliners fall. This one has been replaced with the tan one. The missing handle is a two-piece plastic sandwiched together. They get very, very brittle. But you look and see that these two vents have been covered over, and usually the headliner gets destroyed right about here with this piece of insulation that falls down inside the car. As we open the cover, you'll see a few things about the headliner. I mentioned the gentleman that was the first driver, the second owner, since he purchased it off lease, was a heavy smoker, so there is a fair bit of damage around the headliner. And as you come around here, you'll see a few more burn areas that really need to be pulled, including the A-pillar. You'll see from where, smoking over the years and whatever, this is burned, so I need to pull the A-pillar and do a little bit of refresh on it, as well as potentially some of the door seals. So all in all, very happy with her. Start, stops, drives, like I mentioned, goes through all the gears. Haven't had any mechanical issues. Would generally go through and do all the fluids and mechanicals first, but as I'm daily driving this one right now, really need to get the interior cleaned out and get rid of some of that smoking smell. I mentioned it before, but there is extensive documentation on Project Iona, and for that, I'm extremely thankful. Here with me in the trunk are just a few items that have come with this car. First, the original maintenance books. Mercedes has these maintenance books, and you can see this one was stamped by the Mercedes dealership up through 45,000 miles. And while this car has 222,000 miles on it, this may be concerned. However, there are extensive documents for all the service history for this vehicle at the Mercedes dealerships in Sarasota, in New Jersey, what was originally purchased, and the original Carfax. 1999 Carfax on this vehicle had 4,800 miles on it at that point in time. So for the first 2 years, roughly 2,500 miles for it being owned. In addition to the owner's service and warranty information booklet, the owner's manual, the car care guide, a list of US dealers from 1997. I mentioned it should have had an original Becker 1692 radio in it, the operator's guide, quick care car tips, service warranty information, and this is extremely important if you're looking at buying a W140. Keys. There are 3 keys with this car. I was absolutely floored to see that it came with the daily use key, a backup, and then a service key. I believe this is for backup sort of situations. I don't know. I have not opened it. It is a sealed package. The second infrared key is open. These are not available. You cannot buy these. They're out of manufacture. So if you're buying or looking at buying a W140, make sure they have the keys with it, because if you only have one key fob and anything happens to the infrared sensor or the enabler and the communication between the remote and the car itself, you may be completely out of luck with your purchase. So make sure, if you look, they have as many keys as possible. This one has 3s. I was tickled pink to know that it had 3 sets of keys with it. So again, an extensive amount of service history that came with Project Iona. And again, I'm very pleased and thankful that the owners had kept all this documentation over the years. So things to be thankful for this project, Project Iona, but also things to look for when you're buying a used W140. I mentioned that I had been talking to many different people, been on a lot of road trips looking at used W140s, and walked away from a lot of them, even after having the conversation that this car is like an 8 out of 10, or this car is a 9 out of 10. Make sure you have those conversations. I drove to Naples, Florida to look at a 1998 white on white S500 with a tan leather interior. Pictures look great. Talked to the guy for a long time about it, why he was selling it, how long he'd owned it, service history, how much money he'd put into it. I drove all the way down to Naples, and the car would barely run. So they are an investment of time and money and resources. So make sure when you are looking at buying one of these, that you do your due diligence before even thinking about handing over money for one of these cars. And last but not least, I would say the unicorn in this car first was having 3 keys. But what I found when looking through the original owner's booklet were these 2 documents right here. I cannot believe they were retained over all the years and kept. And as I open it up, the original window sticker for Iona. It has all the list of all the information for all the comfort and convenience items, safety and security items, miles per gallon. For the first tank and a half that I've had this car, she's getting about 19 miles per gallon, mixed between highway and local driving. Very pleased with that. But you can see the original price on Iona was over $91,000 in 1997. In addition to that, the receipt for purchase of the car from when it came off lease. There's some identifying information on here that I'm not going to show, but I was very blown away to find out the the sales receipt from 1999 when this car came off lease for the person that bought it after it was turned back in. So very pleased. Very hard to find these documents. Very surprised that they came with the car, but just one more reason when you're looking to make sure that they are fully documented and with a complete service history. They can be a bear if they've not been maintained over the years. Well, thanks everyone for watching my first video for Project Iona. I'm looking forward to working on her, and before I leave you with some first drive footage when I went to pick her up, there's a few things we need to talk about next for this project. First and foremost is the interior. I have to do it. She was a long-time smoker, so that's got to be sorted out first and foremost. I wouldn't usually do the interior first, but it's hard to drive the way it sets now. Second, fuel system, fuel pump, fuel filter, fuel pressure regulator, fuel lines. When I looked at this car under the hood, they appear to be all original. 222,000 miles. You may have noticed the fire extinguisher rolling around the back seat that I kept with me on purpose to make sure that she was safe, because the fuel lines need to be replaced. Next, brakes. If you're buying a car and there's no service history for when the brakes were flushed, you can guarantee it's been too long. So I've got a one-man brake bleeder system. Need to go through and replace all the brake fluids, look at the brake lines, probably need to replace front and back, all of those. Rotors and pads seem to be okay. I need to get my micrometer and see if they're still within spec. If not, change those as well. All filters, everything under the hood, the 2 air intake filters, the cabin filter, the under the hood filter, all those need to be changed. Oil change and engine flush. Haven't really decided whether I'm going to go back with dinosaur oil or with a mix of regular oil and synthetic. Personal preference, I don't want to go to full synthetic right off the bat because I don't know what's in her now. The rear accumulators and all the hydraulic system, I need to flush that and get a new filter to make sure that that's in good working order. The rear accumulators in that job is rather extensive and rather expensive. I had to do that on Project Betty on my 1996 W140 S500. I'm not looking forward to doing that on Project Iona, so I'd like to make sure I can maintain that system. Iona does have xenon headlights. There's an issue with the driver's side low beam xenon. I need to get that sorted as well, whether it's a bulb, whether there's a seal and there's water getting in there, or something else electrical that needs to be sorted as well. Headliner, I mentioned before the insulation has fallen inside the headliner, thus she has a replacement tan headliner. That's got to go immediately. But with that, need to make sure I get a gasket to go around the glass for the moonroof, sunroof, whatever you want to call it. Also, rear view mirror, see if I can fix that and find a trim piece to replace that, as it does bounce around going down the road. Very distracting when you're driving. Paint and exterior finishes, I may try working on that when I'm doing the full interior refresh. Again, would do that last, but if I'm going to be working on the inside of this car with the ozone machine and leaving it set for a long periods of time, I might go ahead and give it a first wash, clean out all of the rain gutters and get the dirt and grime out from her. Also, next up, find an original Becker 1692 with a Bluetooth mod. They're sold by Becker USA. They are not inexpensive. Might look at getting one of those instead of the Alpine system that's in her now. Future high mileage award, she has 222,000 miles on her, so she is eligible for the Mercedes Benz high mileage award. I'd like to go through that process with you all. It'd be a first for me. Project Betty only has 107,000 miles on her, so she's not eligible for the high mileage award. I would like to go and work through the process for getting the high mileage award for Project Iona and putting that badge on the grill once I get the grill sorted as well. Going to take you all through that process with me, so please, if you like it, please hit like, please subscribe. Many different videos coming up in the near future for Project Iona, and with that, I'll leave you with some driving footage. Take care. Thanks everybody. Stay safe.